This morning I want to talk about bullying in our schools in this nation. Bullying has been around for a long time. I want to first tell you that I've gone through that process as a child, as a young teenager in high school. I was bullied several times by folks, and I guess the question is that we would ask ourselves, what do you do when you are faced with bullying? First of all, you need to surround yourself with people who are willing to stand with you in the process of someone attacking you for probably no reason. I was attacked just because that I spoke differently than the people that surrounds me. Or someone didn't like me because they thought I was smarter than they were, or they hated that I was smart, or whatever the case may be. You have to set your situation where that you have allies of some kind, other boys and girls that are around you that lives to protect you, and you've got to stand and believe. And I believe most of all, you should report bullying to the principal, to your mother and father, to the ones who are your guardian, your parents, your step parents, whoever it may be that you have faith in that will stand for you, is to help you stand down such activity that occurs often in schools. And I, for one, think that it is terrible that people, your own peers, who create these kinds of problems against you and others. It is disgraceful. Oftentimes, a lot of those people, whether we want to admit it or not admit it, should not even be in school. They're not there to really learn. They're there to scare people up, to do things to people to make it very uncomfortable for them to want to, say in New York, which I was, to take the train to come down to the schools, wherever it might be. So I would strongly suggest that when you travel with a group at all times, and they can't beat us all. That was that was always my motto. I was punched out in the classroom, and also a fight started outside of the classroom. So what I did was that I surrounded myself with some big guys who liked me pretty much, and I teamed up with them, and I traveled everywhere during my school years. We traveled down to school. I had to go downtown to school. That's where I went. And I had my friends who joined me in that trip and to stand with me. And I tell you that once I started doing that, I found out that the person that was attacking me was afraid to attack me, because he knew that if he attacked me, he would not only have to deal with me, he would have to deal with all the other people that surrounds me. And most importantly, I didn't do something that I should have done. I did not report this to the principal, to be like the principal or the dean or my teacher or anybody like that, or even my parents, because I was ashamed that I was not strong enough to stand on my own and to deal with it. Therefore, I went another way. Of course, I think that you must not, you should not, and you cannot allow people to disrupt you from your goals. As I talked to you the other day, you set the goals and you move forward on your goals, and you must stand for your goals. There will always be people, whereas bullying or whatever will stand in your way to keep you from proceeding to the goals that you have in mind. And so what do you do about it? You have to create an atmosphere where that you can function and get out of the dysfunction of bullying. You got to find a way to move forward in your education, in your school or college or wherever it may be occurred. Whether that it is in your neighborhood, which possibly it could be in your neighborhood, but you must not allow folks to stop you from being the best you can be. Bullying is terrible. and that we must learn to do something about it in our own way, in America here, or in any other nation that where you have this kind of a nonsense going on. You got people in some places carrying guns, and I believe that the administrators should find out and identify those people and throw them out of the school. Why should you have somebody that wants to come and do gang banging or scare people the hell out of people and have them in your school? I, as a principal, would not tolerate such nonsense, because it is nonsense. It's devastating. It can even cause death sometime. And we have got to stamp this stuff out before it continues to grow and grow, and we become a hazardous city where we live, and afraid to travel our public transit that we have in our different towns and cities. We cannot tolerate this nonsense. We are, I believe some people said we're 16th in the nation in education. So if we're 16th, we should be number one. We're the greatest nation on the face of this earth. Why can't we do what's necessary and to move forward and become the best we can be and stop this damn bullying causing people afraid to go to school because we as adults is not doing enough to prevent such activities. It is a shame and disgrace that we have this kind of thing going on in our cities, in our towns, in our countryside, probably out through the nation. There's so much that we hear about. We hear about the big stories, but we hear very little about the small stories. And the small stories is where the problems are oftentimes. Not that the big story is not important, but it gets on television, it gets on radio, and it gets on the different kinds of news, the news pages on the internet. But we need to find a way, a creative way to stop this bullying, where it's a gun bullying, where it is just nastiness towards another human being and causing them to do things. I just heard the other day that some young lady killed herself because she was being bullied. I don't know if that's true, but I do know that there were things going on that would cause her to be upset. You know, we hear about judges taking the attitude that she created the problem and she has to be responsible for it. I don't think so. I don't think bullying is ever necessary in any case, and I don't agree with any judge or anybody else that want to tell me that I must be a part of my own bullying, because I don't think she was, and I wasn't. I certainly didn't do anything back in my school days that would create anybody from bothering me. I was just a pretty nice kid trying to get an education to move myself forward. I had a pretty positive mind that I could be successful. I thought I had talent to give. I don't know if I exactly knew what talent skills that I had, but I did know that I wanted to move forward and be the best I can be. And we have to think of the same thing today about our young people. I think many young people want to do what they have to do to be as successful as they possibly can and to live that dream life that everybody has a dream of living. I don't think kids want to sell dope. I don't think kids want to be in gang banging. I don't think kids want to bully anybody, but I think that the frustration comes out oftentimes of this bullying business, and we, again I say, must do something about bullying. I don't know if we should have guards in the school, but you can't have guards everywhere, so we got to do something. We got to let kids travel in groups of people who are dedicated as friendship and that will act when they see something. Bring it to the teacher's attention, bring it to the parents' attention, bring it to the PTA, bring it to whoever they possibly can bring it to make sure that it doesn't happen. Ladies and gentlemen, it can be dealt with, but we have a willingness of our country to stop glorifying this nonsense and say it will not happen. I will not assist. I think the president should be involved in this bullying process, speaking out with the bully pulpit that he has. And I think that we, as parents, as grandparents, as mothers and fathers, should come together and to say we will not, no way, tolerate this nonsense of bullying. Bullying is a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. I know because I was bullied, and it was horrifying, in my opinion, terrible to have to face such devastation of these crazy people. But I thank God that I made it through and I became successful, in my own life. And, because I had friends who reached out and I started traveling in a group, and that made the difference in my life, and that I was able to go on and pursue my education and whatever else that I wanted to pursue. I traveled even when I hung out, going out as a kid to enjoy myself. I still was my friend, and we traveled together to make it a peaceful situation. And I don't have much to say at this end. I think that I'm going to bring this to a close, but I appreciate you giving me the time to listen to my bullying statement, that I think more people have to speak out about bullying, take it very seriously, because it is a serious factor. We cannot tolerate people bullying people, as I say again and again. We must find a clear way that to deal with such activities. It is a way to deal with it. I think that the way to deal with it is to put people in the neighborhood, adults in the neighborhood, that talk to these kids that carry guns or that is doing things to children in school, no matter what school it is, and let them know that this is not going to be tolerated and that you're in deep trouble when you get involved. I think that when people find that they have to pay a price for what they do, I think that's when you can bring change. We have to put a stop to this nonsense that you can do and bully people and get away with it. There's a punishment that you should pay. Yes, I agree that many people say that there's too many people of color in jail, and maybe that's so. But if it warrants people going to jail or paying a price, they should pay a price. There's no free ride for sour behavior, disgusting behavior, despicable. There's a price to pay, ladies and gentlemen. No one got a right to bully you. You don't have a right to bully nobody else. That is not the way. That is not the American way. We must be able to do as we feel that we should do and be the best we can do, because we can in America. We are free people, and we got a right to do and become whatever we want to become. Bullying is not a way to become nothing. It is a horrible way for someone to have to be in that kind of atmosphere. So, ladies and gentlemen, I reach out to you and I ask you, what can you do? Can we all do something together? I stand for doing something. But will you join me in reaching out to the various different organizations and that is trying to do something about it and put an end to this nonsense of bullying? It is disgraceful. It is despicable, ladies and gentlemen. This should not be going on. I'm telling you that I went through it, and it was not good. I felt like some days I didn't want to go to school. I was afraid to go to school. But then I had to find a way. So I tell you children that you must travel in groups. You must join people that care about you and become a part of that group to protect yourself from this evilness that goes on in terms of bullying. I don't think anybody, I just want to say and add, it goes on in many different places, but school I'm really concerned about a whole lot.